Welcome back. Time now for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me now is Globalt Investments Senior Portfolio Manager Thomas Martin. Also with us is Michael Lee this morning. Thomas, good to see you. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Great. Thanks for having me on your program, Maria.
And I want to get your take on the backdrop. We've got futures this morning mixed. The Dow Industrial's lower, but the NASDAQ higher. Ahead of a big week for big tech earnings this morning. The NASDAQ is up 47. Of course, we know that stocks have been on a melt-up since the end of March. You're talking about double-digit percentage moves since the end of March for all the major averages. Oil prices, nonetheless, are spiking once again this morning, despite the fact that we've got reports from Axios that Tehran is offering a new proposal to the Trump administration to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and end the U.S. blockade without addressing the nuclear program until later. Crude oil's up a fraction at 95.24. It's off of its highest levels of the morning. Brent is at 106.55, up better than 1% right now, after the Trump administration canceled a second trip to Pakistan for talks with Iran, basically saying they know where to find us. When they're ready to do a deal, they'll call us. Thomas, your reaction to that impact on markets right now?
Sure. Well, I think the main takeaway is that nobody's ready to capitulate yet. And so they're not really interested in talking or making any substantive offers. And that's what happened most recently. You know, you can't not talk about nuclear. So the active phrase in the markets has been that the longer this goes on, the worse it is. And it just keeps on grinding on. So the impact on the markets is...
But look at this market performance, Thomas. I mean, the Dow's up 9% since March 30th. The NASDAQ's up 18.5%. The S&P up 12.5%. What are markets reacting to in the middle of this uncertainty about Iran?
Well, the Iran thing is a longer-term thing. What's going on right now is earnings reports, and companies are just reporting phenomenal earnings, and the growth is 15% this quarter, this year, maybe as much as 20% next year. The semiconductors are just screaming because of all the AI demand, and that's what's really got the market's attention. You can't not be in there when you're getting this kind of growth.
Yeah, great point. And I'm looking at a Jefferies equities report this morning, Mike Lee, and the chief market strategist, David Zervos, says that the resilience in the S&P indicates that there is a deep secular trend in expected returns on capital, underpinned by the belief that productivity gains will be more than able to offset the impact from a temporary jolt in the price of oil. Mike, I'm surprised we're not hearing more about, oh, costs went up, that went up, this went up because of the price of oil going up. You've got big tech earnings kicking off this week. Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, the next big group to look at earnings and report their quarterly numbers. That happens on Wednesday. Investors also watching closely for all that spending in AI and data center investments, the CapEx plans to build out the AI infrastructure. Apple will report on Thursday following its announcement that we've got a new CEO coming in, John Ternus. Mike, how do you see things for the week, the backdrop?
Yeah, look, these earnings are going to be spectacular, and how the market reacts to it is, I don't want to say anyone's guess, because we've got a pretty bullish backdrop going into these earnings. And so last quarter, it seemed the market just couldn't get out of its way, even though we got great earnings from all these, a lot of these names sold off. I don't see that happening here. There's a lot of momentum behind these stocks right now, and each one of these companies outside of Apple, it's going to be what does your CapEx look like? What does your cloud growth look like? For Meta, it's how much are your ad impressions up year over year, right? 18% last quarter. They're saying Meta's management was saying 10 out of that 18% came directly from AI. And so to me, Meta is the company using AI to really grow revenue, grow earnings, okay? And then you start looking at Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. What does their cloud growth look like, and what is their CapEx plans for the future? And so there is a cloud over a lot of these names because historically they've been cash machines. And now that they're spending all this money on AI, you have a different kind of risk element to these companies that we've never seen before. So can the market digest that? Can these all break out to all-time new highs? I think so. I think maybe if we get a small pullback here or there, those are opportunities to be bought. But we're looking at an unbelievable earnings season, and it's going to accelerate as we go later into the year, looking at 18, 19, 20 in the next 3 quarters on top of 15, what we've already seen right now in terms of year-over-year earnings growth.
Yeah, all great points. The president of Meta told me that Meta is spending $600 billion on capacity, on compute capacity and AI. Dina Powell-McCormick with us last week. Got to get your take, Thomas, also on the Fed. Yields this morning look like this as the Federal Reserve kicks off its April policy meeting tomorrow. This is widely expected that they're going to hold rates steady and have a wait-and-see approach. This could very well be Jay Powell's final meeting as chairman of the Fed. As we expect, Kevin Warsh to be coming in. North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis says he is ready to move on. Support the confirmation of Kevin Warsh after the DOJ dropped its probe into Powell on Friday. How big of a deal is this, Thomas, to your thinking on markets?
Well, moving on is a good thing, and moving on with the Fed retaining its independence or the appearance of that, in real terms is also a good thing. Right now, the Fed's going to tell you that they're in a good spot. They don't need to do anything. No need to raise rates. No need to lower rates. They do want to be on the eye for inflation and make sure that people know that they're on the job there. But their number one job is going to come down to making sure the economy does stay out of recession, which even though that seems a long way away, depending on how things play out with oil, that could be an issue.
All right, we will leave it there. Thomas, good to see you. Thomas Martin, Michael, you're with us all morning, and we're so grateful. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be right back with New York Congressman Mike Lawler. He was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he is going to tell us what this means for legislation. Reconciliation 1, 2, and 3 coming up. You're watching Mornings with Maria, live on Fox Business.